Elon Musk isn't a genius entrepreneur. He's not a real-life Tony Stark. He's not humanity's savior. He's a market manipulator who built his fortune on government subsidies, stock pumps, and outright fraud. And nowhere is this more obvious than his systematic manipulation of Dogecoin, where he turned his own fanbase into exit liquidity for his personal profit. This isn't about being a hater or missing out on gains. This is about exposing how the world's supposedly smartest man orchestrated one of the most brazen pump and dump schemes in financial history, all while his army of basement-dwelling fanboys cheered him on as he robbed them blind. The Dogecoin pump wasn't an accident. It wasn't Musk being quirky or memeing for fun. It was a calculated financial manipulation that transferred billions of dollars from retail investors to Musk and his cronies. And the evidence is sitting right there in plain sight for anyone willing to look. Let's start with the timeline. In late 2020, Dogecoin was trading at less than a penny. It was a joke coin created as a literal meme, with no real utility, no development team, and infinite supply. The perfect vehicle for manipulation because it had no fundamental value to anchor the price. Then Musk started tweeting. Not occasionally. Not randomly. In a coordinated campaign that lasted months. Every tweet perfectly timed to maximize price impact. Every meme calculated to drive retail FOMO. Every appearance on Saturday Night Live strategically planned to create maximum liquidity for the dump. The pattern is obvious once you see it. Musk would tweet something about Dogecoin. The price would spike. His whale wallets would sell into the pump. Then he'd go quiet until the price stabilized. Then another tweet. Another pump. Another dump. Rinse and repeat. But here's where it gets really disgusting. Musk wasn't just manipulating the price. He was manipulating his own fan base. These weren't sophisticated traders or hedge funds he was playing against. These were working-class people who worshipped him. People who believed he was on their side. People who thought he was fighting the establishment. The Saturday Night Live appearance was the master stroke. Musk hyped it for weeks. His fanboys were convinced this was the moment Dogecoin would moon. They mortgaged their houses. They maxed out their credit cards. They put their life savings into a joke coin because they trusted Papa Elon. And what happened? The exact moment Musk called Dogecoin a hustle on live television, the price crashed. Not gradually. Not over days or weeks. Instantly. Because the smart money knew what was coming. They had already positioned themselves to dump on the retail crowd. The timing wasn't coincidental. It was surgical. The whales who had been accumulating during Musk's pump campaign dumped their bags the moment retail was maximally leveraged. Billions of dollars evaporated in minutes. Life savings destroyed. Dreams crushed. All so Elon could have his joke. But the real smoking gun isn't the SNL crash. It's the wallet analysis. Blockchain data shows that during the peak of Musk's pumping campaign, several whale wallets holding hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Dogecoin began systematic selling. Not panic selling. Not emotional selling. Methodical, calculated distribution designed to maximize profit while minimizing price impact. These weren't random whales. The transaction patterns, the timing, the coordination suggests institutional-level sophistication. This was planned. This was orchestrated. This was a professional operation using Musk's social media influence as the marketing department. And here's the kicker. While Musk was pumping Dogecoin to his followers, Tesla was quietly selling their Bitcoin holdings. Not because they suddenly cared about environmental impact. Not because they had philosophical objections to cryptocurrency. Because they needed exit liquidity for their pump and dump operations. The environmental excuse was pure theater. Tesla makes cars that require strip mining for lithium batteries. They operate factories that consume massive amounts of electricity. But suddenly they care about Bitcoin's energy consumption? Please. It was cover for market manipulation. The SEC should have shut this down immediately. In any legitimate market, what Musk did would result in criminal charges. When traditional stock promoters engage in pump and dump schemes, they go to prison. But apparently when you're the world's richest man, you can manipulate markets in broad daylight with zero consequences. The regulatory capture is complete. The SEC goes after random crypto influencers for promoting shitcoins while ignoring the most obvious case of market manipulation in history. They fine Musk pocket change for his Tesla going private tweet while letting him run a multi-billion-dollar pump and dump scheme on his own fan base. This isn't about crypto regulation. This isn't about protecting investors. This is about protecting the establishment. Musk is allowed to manipulate markets because he's part of the club. He gets government subsidies for his companies. He gets defense contracts for SpaceX. He gets regulatory protection for his schemes. The tragedy isn't that Musk is a scammer. Rich people have always been scammers. The tragedy is that he scammed the people who believed in him most. His own fan base. The retail investors who thought he was fighting for them. The working class people who saw him as their champion against Wall Street. These people didn't just lose money. They lost faith. They lost hope. They lost their belief that anyone in power actually cares about them. And that's worth more than any financial loss. The psychological manipulation was the worst part. Musk didn't just pump and dump a cryptocurrency. He weaponized his own personality cult. He turned his fans' loyalty into exit liquidity. He monetized their trust and left them holding worthless bags. The memes weren't funny. The tweets weren't quirky. The SNL appearance wasn't entertaining. It was all part of a systematic campaign to extract wealth from the people who believed in him most. Every joke was calculated. Every meme was a weapon. Every appearance was a setup. And his fanboys still defend him. Even after losing their life savings. Even after being obviously manipulated. Even after watching him laugh at their losses on live television. They still worship him. They still make excuses for him. They still believe he's fighting for them. This is what capture looks like. Not just regulatory capture. Not just media capture. Psychological capture. When people will defend their oppressor even as he's robbing them blind. When they'll make excuses for obvious fraud because they can't admit they were played. The Dogecoin pump wasn't Musk's first manipulation. It won't be his last. He's been running variations of this scheme for years. Pump Tesla stock with fake promises about self-driving cars. Pump Bitcoin with fake adoption announcements. Pump Dogecoin with fake utility claims. Every time, retail investors get burned. Every time, institutional money profits. Every time, Musk walks away richer while his fanbase gets poorer. And every time, they thank him for the privilege. The pattern is clear. Musk identifies an asset with high retail interest and low institutional ownership. He begins a publicity campaign to drive retail investment. He allows institutional money to accumulate at low prices. Then he provides the exit liquidity through manufactured events that trigger retail panic selling. It's not just market manipulation. It's systematic wealth transfer from the bottom to the top. From retail to institutional. From fans to fraudsters. From believers to billionaires. The most disgusting part is how he frames it. Not as market manipulation. Not as wealth extraction. But as democratizing finance. As fighting the establishment. As giving power to the people. While systematically robbing those same people blind. This is how modern oligarchy works. Not through obvious oppression. Not through direct coercion. But through manufactured consent. Through personality cults. Through making people complicit in their own exploitation. Musk doesn't need to force people to buy his bags. He just needs to make them want to. He doesn't need to steal their money. He just needs to convince them to give it to him voluntarily. He doesn't need to destroy their dreams. He just needs to sell them new ones. They're all customers in the same business. The business of extracting wealth from people who believe in you. The Dogecoin scam wasn't a bug in the system. It was a feature. It wasn't an accident. It was the plan. It wasn't a mistake. It was the point. The entire operation was designed to transfer wealth from his fan base to his portfolio. And it worked perfectly. Musk got richer. His institutional partners got richer. His fan base got poorer. Mission accomplished. The real question isn't whether Musk manipulated Dogecoin. The evidence is overwhelming. The real question is why his fan base continues to defend him. Why they make excuses for obvious fraud. Why they rationalize clear manipulation. The answer is psychological. They've invested too much to admit they were wrong. Not just financially, but emotionally. Their identity is tied to their belief in Musk. Admitting he's a scammer means admitting they're suckers. So they double down instead of facing reality. This is how cons work. Not through deception alone, but through making the marks complicit in their own deception. By making them defend the con even as they're being conned. By making them grateful for the privilege of being robbed. Musk understands this psychology perfectly. He doesn't just manipulate markets. He manipulates minds. He doesn't just extract wealth. He extracts dignity. He doesn't just take money. He takes agency. His fan base doesn't just lose their investments. They lose their ability to think critically about the person who robbed them. They become psychological prisoners of their own sunk costs. They become defenders of their own exploitation. The Dogecoin pump and dump wasn't just a financial crime. It was a psychological crime. It wasn't just theft. It was betrayal. It wasn't just fraud. It was abuse. And the most tragic part is that his victims still love him for it. They still believe in him. They still defend him. They still trust him. Even after he proved beyond any doubt that he doesn't care about them at all. That's the real genius of Elon Musk. Not his engineering skills. Not his business acumen. Not his technological vision. His genius is in monetizing human gullibility. In weaponizing human hope. In profiting from human desperation. The Dogecoin scam was just the latest example of a pattern that's been going on for years. And it won't be the last. Because as long as people are willing to worship billionaires, those billionaires will find ways to profit from that worship. The only way to stop it is to stop believing. To stop worshiping. To stop trusting people whose only qualification is having money. To stop confusing wealth with wisdom. To stop mistaking exploitation for innovation. Elon Musk isn't your friend. He's not fighting for you. He's not trying to save the world. He's trying to get richer. And he's willing to destroy his own fan base to do it.